The debate on the 2020 budget statement and financial policy entered day 4 with a focus on education and other selected areas. Ranking member on the Education Committee of the House, Peter Nuchukoto, bemoaned what he calls the neglect of basic education under the Akufo-Addo administration.
The Ministry of Education, as a matter of urgency, must make sure that the textbooks are provided. The first term of this academic year started in September, and we are entering December, getting to the end of the first term, there are no textbooks. Mr. Speaker, what do we expect the teachers to use to teach our children? So for that matter, we are also even informed that there will be no end-of-term examination at the basic level this term. Yes. Serious? That is very, very serious. No end-of-term examination at the basic level this term. Why? You teach children for a number of months and you don't want to test them. Just because they will tell you there's no money. Mr. Speaker, what is important is we need to make sure that the adequate funds are provided. Now, Mr. Speaker, a few months ago, some head teachers in this country, especially in West District, lost their positions as head teachers because they collected money from children to print end-of-term examination papers. Why are we treating teachers in that way?
For his part, Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Yawose Aduchuma, outlined the successes of the Akufo-Addo administration in the education sector.
Now you have a president who says, I don't like the piecemeal approach to education reform. And to bring about transformation, I don't want you to just look at the curriculum. I want you to look at how students are taught instruction. I want you to look at the quality through the lens of assessment and be able to provide the critical data that is needed for us to reform education. And by the way, he's also saying, why don't you ensure that we decentralize education in this country? So we don't have to go from Accra to Jachi in order for us to know what is going on. That the local people will have a say in how education is administered, and they will be able to ensure that the quality that has eluded us over the years, that has led to the 0.44 human capital index will be a thing of the past. Mr. Speaker, when you come to infrastructure, I can say that if you look at what happened in Europe after the Second World War, when you talk about the Marshall Plan for development in Europe, we have a civil Marshall Plan for education, infrastructure, development in this country. I was afraid, and I was sitting here saying, am I in a different parliament? It is this same parliament that approved 500 million for GET fund to embark on infrastructure development. It is this same parliament that said, you know what, we allow you to do GET fund securitization and make sure you have the money to bring about the transformation that we need in our schools. It is the Education Committee whose guidance helps us go through that process. And when I hear that a member of the Education Committee is complaining about infrastructure as the ranking member for that matter, about infrastructure at the university level.
The matter of the quality of food served under the free SHS policy in some senior high schools also came up for debate.
Mr. Speaker, I spoke about the issue of overcrowded dormitories, overcrowded classrooms, lack of furniture, stress on teaching and non-teaching staff who have been in school since September last year and have not received any reprieve in terms of rest. Mr. Speaker, another issue that is of importance is the quality of the food that is supplied. And we are told that there are instances where expired food items
You'll be concluding.
are supplied to students. Mr. Speaker, is this the best we can do? Is it not reasonable that we address the challenges bedeviling the Free Senior High School so that we can make it better?
Talking about expired food products being served to students, and I would like to know where this information is coming from so that we can take action.
He knows it is true. Mr. Speaker, This incident was not only reported to us.
The burden is upon you.
It wasn't reported to us in only one school.
Honorable,
There were several schools.
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, Tuobodom Senior High School and Techima as well, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, it will be reflected in your committee's report from when we present it to you.
The House approved a visa waiver agreement between Ghana and some 5 other countries on the floor of the House.
Members of the committee raised some issues and we took them into consideration. Mr. Speaker, regarding the concerns raised by the ranking member, I want to say that, yes, there were some delays, but sometimes it is better to delay and do a good job than to go ahead and rush over things, because these have to do with security issues. And they also have to do with country to country. So first of all, there will be exchange of notes in the processes of the 2 countries. Then officers of the 2 countries will have to go through the agreement and look at the situations in the various countries. Then we also have cabinet memo, and then it goes through cabinet before it comes to parliament. This is a long process. But I admit that there were some over delays, because if these agreements could have been agreed within 6 months, and it took us sometimes beyond 10 years, it is not the best.
The budget debate entered day 4 today, and sectors that were touched on included education, environment, science and technology, defense and interior, and gender, among others. Reporting from Parliament, my name is Duke Mensopoko.
11 and 12 are hereby